how cut off, how isolated was this place really? Because I understand it was very strategically planned, as you mentioned. They must have envisioned the reaction time. And I believe there's also a report by Suhasini Haider. And she said that there was no police, the police had not permitted tourism in that area. So there was no police clearance given to this place. Yet the tourist business was happening. And there were 500 personals, I believe, deployed right down below. But they couldn't get activated because this place did not receive any police clearance.
I will reserve my comments on how people sit in armchairs and make assessments and analysis.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is this. Pahalgam is a beautiful valley. It is not just one valley. Every river, every stream that flows down into the Lidder river, the river there is Lidder. Along each of the river there are spots, there are meadows, there are valleys that people go trekking. Angling, fishing is a very popular thing there because those rivers are full of hill trout. So the treks go to very high. There are lakes in the higher reaches. I have done some of those treks. My sons have done those treks. So everywhere you go in Kashmir Valley, which is approximately 120 kilometers long and nearly 40 kilometers wide. Anywhere you go is a very beautiful spot. So there are treks, there are pony rides. There are at some places like Gulmarg, Pahalgam town itself, there is a lot of amusement park kind of activity, and there's something for everybody when tourists go on family vacations. Having said that, firstly, it is not possible to police every inch of the ground. I told you the size. And I told you at every valley, every stream that comes down becomes a meadow and things like that. Obviously, it's not Army's job, it's not Rashtriya Rifles' job, it is police. Now, police cannot be everywhere. That's one. Always rest sort of assured in the belief that they don't target tourists like this. So that's one aspect. But to describe the place to you, yes, it is where from the Pahalgam town you have to walk up. You have to walk up as much as half an hour to 1 hour, depending on a person's own stamina and being able to walk up. Some people will take 1.5 hours. That's why people take ponies. There is this ponies are there. It had rained and it is very slushy to walk up.
Okay.
So that's another thing that is time consuming. Whether you're coming up or going down, when it is slushy, it takes time even for the ponies. So that is the essence of it. The down below is the security forces base. Down below, this is at height.
Below the valley.
Yeah, Pahalgam Valley. The deployment is in Pahalgam.
Okay.
Like I said, like this, there are many valleys, many meadows.
Sure.
Baisaran is one of the big ones. True. So all I would say is that we couldn't have security force deployment all around, but yes, we should keep our intelligence apparatus should be alive to keep an ear to the ground and keep finding out information. That's very important. To build up the intelligence picture, are there terrorists operating in this area? Especially when the Pakistan Army chief had sort of given that rant last week.
Conducting covert operations
And talking clearly about Hindu-Muslim divide. He was trying to drive a wedge. He's egging them to attack the Hindus and things like that. So all I say is that after that we should have been more cautious.
Okay.
We should have. So intelligence building is a different thing than trying to post policemen or security personnel at every place.
Okay. Then do you think it is a miscarriage of intelligence? Because one theory also says that the force level in the region and in general had seen a drawn down because perhaps of cost cutting. Do you think that happened?
These are non-military minds speaking such things.
Okay.
Drawing down, force cutting. These are not the terms we use. Military deployment in counter-terrorism grid is dynamic.
Okay.
It responds to the situation. It responds to the terrorist presence in a certain area. So, for example, everyone says south of Pir Panjal, there was a time 3, 4, 6 months ago when terrorist activities started there. They said forces have been withdrawn from here. Yes, they were. I have served a lot in that area. They were because situations had improved vastly. So there were no residual terrorists there, or very few. So the point I'm trying to make, so where there are more terrorists, there is a requirement, the forces will be deployed there. They will be taken away from places which are better. The deployment is never static.
Okay.
So that is what, force cutting and things, the terms that you use, that's not the way to see it. We have to respond to the situation and keep our deployment dynamic.
If you enjoyed watching this content, you can watch the full in-depth video on the Body to Being podcast hosted on Shlloka YouTube channel. To continue watching shorter pieces of this content, you can subscribe to Shlloka Clips on YouTube. Don't forget to like this video and follow us on Spotify. Pranam.